Hello, everyone. Welcome to another podcast. It's Ben Lister here. How are you doing? Right, welcome along to episode 16 of the BL and Friends podcast, and it's episode 105 of the year. Right, let's crack on. As you know, each week I have I have my friends as guests to talk about their career, their hobbies, their jobs. So let's crack on with this week's guest. It's broadcaster from all different radio stations and one estuary TV. If you remember it from the Grimsby days, the olden days, about 8 years ago, it's the one, the only, Martin Samuels. Hello, Martin. Welcome along.
Hello, Ben. Thanks for having me along. Hope you're all right.
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Yeah, been looking forward to this. I've been listening to some of your work and been really looking forward to this.
Thank you. Which one was your favourite?
I don't know. You've got quite a few on there now, haven't you? I was listening to Stephanie Hurst. Is quite an inspiration. That was a good one. Paul Woodford was a good one. Into Cadwell Park and various other bits. But yeah, Bernie Clifton, I think. You got a legend with that one.
Thank you. Yeah. You're the legend today.
I've been called a lot of things, but not legend.
You ready to go then? 5 questions about your broadcast career, if that's okay.
Yep, over to you.
It's your programme, not mine, so let's go for it. Question 1.
Let's go.
Where did you start your broadcast career?
I started my broadcast career at Grimsby Hospital Radio. That's started as a volunteer there, going back, I think, back 2010/2011. Always been a fan of radio, and it was kind of the next step after wanting to do it. And volunteering is really great, and it opens the doors to a lot of places.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant. Question 2. Who were your inspirations in broadcasting when you were starting out?
My inspirations in broadcasting, I think, go back to Radio 1 when they used to come to Cleethorpes for the Radio 1 Roadshow. And we're going back to the days of Philip Schofield, Bruno Brooks, Mike Reed, Noel Edmonds. And I think it was a mixture of going to the roadshows when they were on. They used to stay in a local hotel in Cleethorpes, and outside there was like a play area for the kids to go on. And I always remember them rolling into town. All the broadcasting vehicles would park in the car park, and we would all hang around outside on the play equipment. I'm talking, I wasn't really little, but I guess I was maybe about 14, 15, sort of something like that. And you could see them in the restaurant eating the meals. And when it comes to it, you think when it comes to it, you see them eating the meals, and they were probably looking out that window thinking, "My goodness me!" But it was all. I think it sort of stemmed back from there, really, and that's where my sort of love for radio started.
Brilliant. Yeah. Wow. Was Tony Blackburn there as well?
No, I don't think he was there at that time. This was after he was there, but we're going back to, we are going back, Steve Wright, who was on there. So a lot of the presenters that have been sort of heading towards Radio 2, obviously it was all on Radio 1. And it was great to see them, because it kind of made you feel good, and certainly you wanted to be part of that. And I've been lucky enough to be involved in that.
Yeah, as you say, Sean Tilley's actually returning the Radio 1 Roadshow next year, I saw somewhere.
Well, that would be certainly one to see. Absolutely. I'd be there straight away, without a shadow of a doubt.
I think he's doing a podcast for the Radio 1 Roadshow, because I think it's nearly 50 years next year.
It will always bring fond memories back for me of my childhood. And a lot of people, we used to, I probably shouldn't say it, but we all used to have the day off school and go down to the boating lake paddock, and we all used to just wait there for it all to start. And we'd get there so early while they were still setting up, just hoping to see some of the presenters and the DJs that were there. But it's a great time, and it was really enjoyable.
Brilliant. Question 3, what is your favourite part about the job in radio?
I think for me, well, it's just I'm like you. We like to talk, and it's an art that a lot of people don't have, being able to just chat to people off the cuff. And I think when you do realise that people are taking note and enjoying what you're doing, it kind of makes you feel good. But also there's a sense of being behind that microphone, and you just feel it when you're behind it. I mean, although, you'll be told in radio you're ever only talking to one person behind that microphone, that one person that sat in front of you. You're not talking to everybody because it's a personal thing, is radio, and you're only ever talking to that one person. But I think just the whole radio aspect, to be involved in radio, I think it's been a bit of a privilege to be involved in, actually.
Brilliant. And now we'll move on to question 4. How has COVID affected your life and line of work?
I think, along with a lot of other people, it's affected everybody, hasn't it, in one way or another. And we've had to find alternatives. We've had to diversify. People have been broadcasting from home, and just finding different ways of doing things. And as we were chatting before, who'd have thought interviews were going to be done via Zoom or other platforms, or if need be via a phone call, because a certain amount of quality has to be instilled in that in that interview in terms of sound. So but it's become the normal now, and I guess when people start doing it, they realise, actually, we can achieve more out of it. But as everybody, I had to find alternatives. Things started to drop off. I myself went lorry driving again, but still I'm quite lucky and able to be involved within radio. So I've kind of stepped over from radio more now because I work away. So I'm lucky to be involved in voiceover work, and that's all come through developing the skills through TV and through radio. So it's not ideal, the circumstance that everybody's under, but I think if you can find positives out of it, then that's a good thing.
Brilliant. We'll move on to question 5 because I don't want to keep you much longer.
That's fine.
What advice would you give to young aspiring broadcasters who are starting out?
Well, what I didn't realise was, in the beginning, I mean, I wanted to get involved in radio, and had wanted to for a long time, since the Radio 1 roadshow, since sitting in my bedroom and recording the top 40 chart onto a tape and putting my own voice on it. So I knew I wanted to sort of head in that direction somehow, and I got involved with hospital radio, and there are so many around the country, and yes, it's voluntary, but they give you the key skills to start developing your broadcasting career. Whether it's up on the wards taking requests from people because you're meeting people, you're speaking to people, so you're learning to communicate, to learning how to broadcast, whether it's co-presenting, whether it's producing, but it gives you that key, and it is volunteering, and volunteering is important. And there's one thing I will say is, if you get an opportunity to volunteer, whether it be in radio or any other place of work, take every opportunity you can, because in radio the opportunities do come up, but not many of them. So if you can join radio in whichever format, if it's volunteering through hospital radio, then take the opportunity and run with it and learn all you can, because I, like many others, have a great tale to tell, and it opens the door, if you want to carry on broadcasting, into so many different areas. I've been lucky to move into TV through radio, and working with some of the people that I grew up listening to on local radio, to actually work with them and to have them sat outside the room in the office when you're broadcasting for the first time, thinking, what do they think? Because you've grown up listening to them, but you're there. You wouldn't be there if you couldn't do the job, and take every opportunity that's thrown at you. I think that's probably the most important advice I could say.
Brilliant. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us, Martin.
Thank you for having me.
Do join me again soon for another podcast. Thank you very much for listening and watching. This will be available on YouTube and my website, wix.com. So do join me again soon. Please give it up for my special guest, Mr. Martin Samuels. And thank you very much for watching and listening. And that's do join me again soon. And that's a wrap.